Hi there, this is Niki Rowland for the Shimmerz Paints YouTube education team, and today I am designing a layout inspired by this journaling card that you can see on the screen here. It's from the Coco Vanilla Studio Bohemian Dream collection, which is one of my favourites, and I really loved the colours on that journaling card and decided to recreate that as part of my background for this layout. So I've pulled out the colours that I have that are similar to those that's in the in that card. I've started off there with the yellow, which is just a regular Shimmerz paint, the watercolour, and in the yellow, which is called Sunny. I've used a wide paintbrush and I've been able to just take the paint directly out of the pot and painted it straight onto my layout there. Now I'm moving on to the next colour, which is a Vibes spray, and that's in the Sunset Strip colour. Next to that Sunny, it looks really yellow, really orange, and I poured some of it into a little water pot and painted it on that way. It's much more runny than the Shimmerz watercolor paint because it is a spray, so therefore that's why it's got a slightly different effect. I've now moved on to a pink color that is a Shimmerz paint, again just a watercolor paint, and again I've been able to take it directly out of the pot using a wide paintbrush to apply that. And now I'm moving on to another color, and again, it's a Vibes, and this one is in pop art pink. So I was trying to recreate the ombre effect, the way that these colours kind of blend into each other on that journaling card. So I've gone, they'll try to blend those two pinks together. So I've got just slightly different shades there. I'm now going back and adding some flicks of all the same coordinating colours onto those strips. Now that strip with the Vibes strips are still very, very wet, so my flicks are not showing up particularly well on those, so I'll either come back and add some more later, or I might not need to, but certainly the flicks of colour around the edges look great, and so they're all in the coordinating colours with the ones that I used to paint with. So now I have to wait for my background to dry, so I'm just having a little tidy up, pouring that that Vibes back into the pot there, and cleaning up my work surface a little bit. But it's not going to be enough time because that background is still really, really wet, so I'm probably going to have to use my heat gun in a minute. I plan to use that stencil you can see there with the Dazzlerz Dreamscicle colour, which is the most dreamy colour I think I've ever seen. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I plan to use that through a stencil, but at the moment it's far too wet, I can't do that. So what I'm doing instead is pulling out some embellishments to see if I can match them. This is from the Bohemian Dream collection again, and I'm trying to see if I can match them to those colours that I've used in the background. This collection is very purple, and I haven't got lots of purple in my layout. I've try to focus more on the pinks, so I don't want to go too dark with the purple embellishments. So I'm just having a sort out of all of those flowers, and I've got some enamel dots there too, and just having a look at that chipboard sheet as well to see what I can pull through. Okay, one of the other things that I found while I was looking through my Bohemian Dream collection was a pack of white chipboard words. They are supposed to be, they're completely white chipboard, and the idea is that you decorate them perhaps with mixed media or however you wish. So I thought I would do that, and I've got the word lovely there, and can you just see in the bottom left of the screen the word happy that's on a chipboard sheet already? Well, I decided to recreate that effect, again a kind of an ombre effect, going from pink at the top down to orangey down to yellow. So I'm attempting to do that using the same Shimmerz paint products that I've just used on the background. So here I am starting off with my one of the lighter colours, so the Shimmerz in pink. I'm putting that at the top there, and just trying to roughly work out the line. I don't want the line to be very definite, I want it all to kind of blend into each other and be like an ombre style, yeah, so I'm having a go at doing that. I'm moving on to the pop art pink again now, and that I've just put onto my craft sheet there, and I've actually mixed it with a tiny bit of the Dreamscicle texture paste, the Dazzlerz texture paste, because it's too runny to paint with properly. It needed a little bit more needed to be a little bit thicker, so I've just added that. Also, it gave it a really lovely colour as well, and the two have blended really nicely together. The Dreamsicle and the Pop Art Pink together make a really gorgeous colour, and they're blending nicely with the pink above. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the yellow colour, and I've gone back to the Shimmerz watercolour paint in Sunny. You can see that I've left a tiny white gap between the yellow and the pink. This is just so that I can go in with some water perhaps, and blend the two together nicely. So I've actually gone in with a drop, so I've wiped my paintbrush and gone in with a slightly drier paintbrush here without any colour on it, and just try to blend those together. You can see me doing that there. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way that's turning out, and I am going to have to leave that to dry. It's also still very wet, just like my background was, and again I'm probably going to have to resort to my heat gun at some point, but at the moment I'm just going to leave that there for a bit and let that dry off a little bit. My background now is reasonably dry, a little bit anyway, and I've just blotted off the rest with tissue there, and now I'm adding that Dreamsicle Dazzlerz texture paste through that fantastic stencil there, so I have a starburst effect, and yeah, that looks really lovely. That orangey Dreamsicle texture looks great over those bold colours on the layout there. I'm just going in to add my photograph. I've just cut down that journaling card so I can see enough of those fabulous colours, but without covering up all of the background that I've just made. So off screen I've just dried my background and the word lovely with my heat gun, and now I am making up the basis of my layout. So I've chosen this pinky purpley colour to go around the outside of my layout. I've mounted my white card onto that frame there, taking out the middle just so that the dark pattern doesn't shine through, and now you can see that I can layer up my photo on top of those fantastic bold colours there. I've also would like to also going to add the word lovely in as well, so I just want to figure out the placement of everything on the layout. Just popping in a frame there from a different collection, and I'm working through my ephemera from the Bohemian Dream collection to see what I can fit in. Needed a bit of a pop, so I've gone for that lovely glitter frame from the Crepe Paper Good Vibes collection, with the gold glitter and the bright pink pom-pom trim. It just looks brilliant actually. And now I'm just going through and layering up all those bits and pieces. Lots of those little journaling cards are from the Bohemian Dream collection, so I just picked out the colours that were best, layered them all together, and getting them all stuck in place, and then my photo can go on the top. Now that my layout, the bare bones of my layout is mostly in place, I can get everything else embellished now too, which is my favourite part of scrapbooking. And so I've got the word lovely in place on my layout, and now I'm just going through and adding all those gorgeous flowers that came out of the ephemera pack from the Bohemian Dream collection there, and I'm trying to add them tone on tone. So I've got yellow flowers on the yellow strip, and I've got pink flowers on the pink strip, and I've got really light pink flowers and embellishments on the light pink on the left hand side. So all together that's building up and coming together really, really nicely. It goes beautifully with the background and the word lovely as well. I was a little bit worried about the word lovely because the ombre is going the other way, so on the background I have got vertical strips, whereas on the word lovely they are horizontal, but actually all has come together really well. I really like the effect, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Just adding in another frame down to the right by the yellow flowers there, just needed something else to balance that out a little bit there. I'm continuing to add all the little things I can find from the collection that go nicely. So chipboard hearts and some enamel dots. And now I'm coming in with a few gold flicks, which is one of my favourite things. I've used the Minor 49er Inklingz pot. A little while ago I spritzed it with water, and I've waited for it to go a bit runny whilst I've been building the rest of my layout. And then I added it to a small amount to my craft sheet, spritzed it with a bit more water so it was really super runny, and then I was able to flick it onto my layout with a paintbrush. So here I am just putting the finishing touches onto my layout now. For some reason I thought a llama would be a great idea. the photo's a bit random, as is the layout, so why not? I've also pulled out a few other bits from the Good Vibes collection, so really mixing up two collections here. I've got an ice cream in there, some stars, and of course the llama. So I'm just adding some journaling, but unfortunately I couldn't write nicely over the background that I'd created, so I've just cutting up some strips from the remaining part of that gorgeous journaling card that was the inspiration for this layout, and I'm sticking those in place now, and I will handwrite my journaling onto those little strips there, which was a brilliant way of tying in the layout as well, but also being able to, a practical issue solved there by being able to write onto paper rather than onto a mixed media background, which wasn't taking my pen very well at all. Okay, so that is my layout done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've really enjoyed my layout and my process video. I certainly enjoyed making it. I love all these bright, fantastic colours, and the Shimmerz products are just so easy to work with. Don't forget that if you place an order on the Shimmerz website and you write my name in the comments, you will receive a lovely free gift, so well worth doing. Thank you so much for watching. That was Niki Rowland.